The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
It is a Wednesday morning in Fall River, and just about every Wednesday we spend a few moments with the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan, who joins us from the 6th floor of Government Center. Mayor, how are you this morning?
I'm good, Keith. How about you?
I am doing very well, thank you. I actually want to start with, there was another disturbing story on Monday, another shooting, this time in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, at an ice rink where two people were killed. The gunman also took his own life in that incident. And it was at, a hockey game that was at the rink. Thoughts may go in the future. Obviously, they're still investigating and there's still a lot to come from that situation. But bringing it home, thoughts may be looking at in terms of security at high school events. Have you had a chance to think about this at all in the past couple of days? And I guess what's the current situation, say, of security at, let's say, a basketball game at Durfee?
Well, for example, obviously our heart goes out to the families in Pawtucket for that event. But again, that was just a horrific incident. And it was a domestic dispute. Those are very, very tough to regulate. But with that being said, Friday night, I went up to senior night for the girls basketball team. There was, you always pass through a metal detector on your way into Durfee basketball. You have a policeman there, you have security guards there. So I think from what I see, we do a pretty good job of monitoring these events and making sure we keep the kids and their families as safe as we can. When I go in, I go through the metal detector. So I'm assuming everyone does. It's the only way in. And as you enter, and right on the left, there's a policeman stand there.
Yeah. I know here at the Driscoll rink, that's run by the state. So would they be in charge of any security that happens there, as far as you know?
It's actually, is it run by the state or did that get privatized? I think that got privatized.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was still the DCR.
No, I think that got privatized. There's a vendor that runs that now. It's not the state any longer. I think they originally built it. So I'm not sure about the process at a hockey game, but I know when I was administrator in the Fall River school systems, for certain hockey games, you had to have administrators attend, not just a teacher and not just a chaperone. They wanted an administrator there, and you had to sign in and sign out to help keep an eye on the crowd and what was going on. So I'm not sure what goes on over at that rink, but those were that was my experience with hockey games at Durfee.
You mentioned the security measures that are at Durfee High School. Are there maybe a little less security measures at, say, the middle schools that have events in gyms and the like?
When I go to the middle school games on Saturday mornings, there's usually, obviously, it's the same procedure. You go through the metal detectors or that high-tech system we ended up buying, which is mirrored after what goes on at Gillette Stadium. And I'm pretty sure there's always a policeman there also. Yeah. There's a good crowds at our middle school sporting events. So I would say that police, security, and staff from the schools were at all those events.
Yeah. All right. I want to shift gears now.
As far as I see. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I want to shift gears now to the chief of police in Fall River. Recently, Governor Maura Healey signed legislation that allows the city again to hire a future police chief via civil service. I know you talked about this last year when the chief was appointed full-time back in May. I guess what's the process moving forward? Again, May, I believe, is the month where the chief's one-year contract needs to be decided upon. What's your thoughts about moving forward now with this legislation being passed?
Well, we had tremendous amount of public sentiment to go to a civil service chief. And obviously we gave Chief Furtado 1 year, which will be up in May. We'll decide what to do going forward a little further down the line. That bill obviously says when a vacancy occurs. So if she were to stay or she were to leave, it would be at the end of that time. I think Chief Furtado has done a tremendous job. I was down there 5:30 in the morning on the night of that unfortunate shooting we had, and she was there with her team. The district attorney was there with her team, and I can tell you they were a lot of very positive things going on in the middle of a very, very horrible situation. And from what I see with the Fall River PD, they have really, really stepped up their game under her leadership. I think she's got some good morale going there. I think we're improving our numbers there for people coming in to join the Fall River Police Force. You look at what the young lady that was involved in the shooting, along with the two men, those were all very, very young police officers, as far as I look at it, and they handled that whole manner in a spectacular job. And that has a lot to do with administrative leadership in the police department that supports these young officers. I can't really say much else about it. If you notice what's going on in the city and you keep an eye on it, our police force has been relatively quiet lately. We've had a couple of domestic issues that we had to deal with, similar to Pawtucket, but at the same time, I think things are going pretty well.
Does that indicate that you may be leaning, asking her to stay on if she's willing to? I know she may.
Yeah,
there's talk about her potentially retiring as well.
Right. So that'll be up to Kelly. I mean, I think she's got 38, 39 years on. So she's way past eligibility to leave whenever she wants. And that'll be between her and her family. So as it gets a little closer, there's just a lot of other things going on right now. And we'll definitely sit down and decide the best way to go. From what I understand, though, once you call for a list on civil service, it does take some time to have the testing and compile the list. Who wants to be a chief that would get into that fight? We will see, but it does take a little bit of a process.
Yeah. All right. And finally, we did not have a chance to speak last week. The school committee had a meeting last Wednesday evening. It was after our weekly discussion, and there was a vote taken by the school committee, which you voted no on, to hold a special hearing to discuss the future of Superintendent Tracey Curley, particularly around a provision in her contract that allows her to be removed without cause. Have you set that meeting yet? What's the status of that? And I know you have strong opinions in support of the superintendent.
Yeah, no, that I have not set that yet. I had 15 days, so we'll do something. At the same time, I just want people to understand. You had people voting to terminate a superintendent after one meeting. None of this makes sense to me. I could sure as heck understand if they had a working relationship with her, or there was a pattern of things that she was not doing right or wrong. If you have one or two members of a committee indicating to the others how bad so-and-so is, or how bad Paul Coogan is, or how bad Keith Tebow is, then you want to find out for yourself when you're on a school committee. And I was just, I'm just floored that people down there for one meeting would be voting to terminate a superintendent. I can't wrap my head around it at all. I can sure as heck say seeing someone new to a committee writing a note to the superintendent or a memo about something they did or didn't like. And I'm not talking about the veterans like myself and some of the other guys. I'm talking about the three new people. But I don't know that any of that even occurred. So it was not something I wanted to be associated with. And I'm just very disappointed. But we'll keep moving forward and do what's best for the kids.
Is there a chance that, one or all of those three new members are just wanting to just hear about the progress that the superintendent has made, again, being new, right, in a public setting?
Right. Again, that was not what that vote was on, about an update on the status of the schools. That was a vote to terminate without cause, or to have a meeting to do that under Section 9 in her contract, which is what they were pushing. It makes zero sense to me. I don't know anybody I would ever do that to, but they're comfortable in their vote, then good luck to them. But doesn't seem plausible that you'd have one meeting, or if we hire Keith Tebow and we meet with him for a month and then we're moving on a no cause contract termination. It doesn't make sense.
All right, Mayor Paul Coogan, as always, thank you for your time. We'll talk again next week. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Keith.
All right. And thank you for joining us here at FRC Media. Have a great week.